you really see all the lines are blurred now. You know, it used to be like if you were an official artist, you'd get a commission, you'd make a statue there, and if you're a graffiti guy, you're over there doing a mural, and it was, you know, illegal. But these are all meshed together now. They're all blurred. And so I think it's a really exciting time to be doing work on the street.
I think there is a real evolution of the way that working public spaces is going, from it being sculpture and architecture, both of which are still vital, to temporary spaces, to temporary structures, to the pop-up venue, to the newly found bar that happens for a month and then disappears. The idea of work with digital media and film is huge.
I don't think it's enough like to say something's public and just to put it outside. I feel like if it's really public art, it's operating in the public imagination. I mean, that's what it really means to be in public space to me now.
Kurt Perschke's RedBall project is simple in terms of it does exactly what it says. It's a 4.6 metre inflated red ball that's placed in architectural spaces, and then people react to it for the day. They bounce off it, they take photographs of it. It allows you to see your city in a different way. It just wakens you up. It's a surprise, it's a shock. It's almost a visual joke, except there's a serious thinking to it. People will build a relationship with it and the city. Sometimes people go every single day.
One of the primary things in sculpture, besides, you know, mass and scale and form, is tactility. I mean, it's so fascinating that people will walk by a piece and that they'll want to touch it. I mean, you know, like people just walk by and they think, oh yeah, I want to see what that's like. You know, that impulse is like really deeply seated in us, that sense of touch, that sense of place. So whether it's a touch or a bounce or whatever it is, I think that that's just as important and just as visceral as the person who wants to discuss it. You know, the piece is charismatic, it's invitational, it's humorous, it's all those things, and those allow people to come in and engage and not be on defense.
I saw it originally in Barcelona, actually, and there it was in very ancient architecture. Here it's in very modern architecture, and there's a really nice contrast. Everywhere it goes, it's completely different. Work in public spaces is vital for festivals, and particularly here in Perth. A festival is a time when you can really celebrate what the city is and the energy of the city. It's kind of it's a love letter back to the city, reminding the people why they love the place in the first place. Jeong is a great artist and really well respected in Korea. The piece next to the council house, it's absolutely reflecting the structures of the buildings around where he is. It has that element of joy, but it also has an element of reclaiming the space for art.
저는 그런 말 하고 싶은데 작가는 답을 주는 사람이 아니라고. 관객 수만큼의 답이 있으니까 그들의 답을 가져가기를 원하는 게 저의 항상 기본 개념이라고요.
People are going and having their lunch next to it every lunchtime, and you see a relationship begin to form between the people of a city and the objects in the city. He has a sense of reflection and response to the spaces he works in. So he came to Perth, he looked around, and then he began to respond directly to the place. And he very quickly said he wanted 15,000 baskets and 150,000 cable ties.
모든 작업이 도와주는 사람들이 많아야 되고 그 사람들의 에너지가 작품에 들어간다고요.
He worked with the community, he worked with volunteers, he worked with our staff and team to fabricate something that absolutely is never going to happen anywhere else. It's just a Perth piece.
그래서 지금 이제 이분이 여기 계셔서 작품이 완성되듯이 관객이 있어야 되고, 그리고 제 작품은 제 게 아니고 혼자 하는 게 아니라 언제나 도와준 사람들, 그분들이 진짜 작가들이라고.
there's a certain cultural thing in Australia about sort of like having a bit of a go, and that actually translates really well for RedBall. And so the project here has been really fantastic because I think there's a combination of sort of a sense of humor and a willingness to sort of take things lightly.
I like the idea that we can use the festival to remake our city afresh and re-analyse what it is to be in a 21st century city.